Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good afternoon if you're somewhere else in the world. Good evening. Today I'm doing a tour of my indoor food garden. It's getting so wild in here. I have two separate areas where I'm attempting to grow food inside my house. Vegetables, herbs, flowers, all kinds of things. We're growing in both soil and hydroponic gardening, and let's take a look at what is going on. So much to see. We're in the plant room number 1 right now. Let's take a look at my food garden slash fairy garden area first. These are my tomato plants, and they are growing pretty well in here. We've got some marigold action happening. These are the cucumber plants I have growing in here, just starting to flower. I should probably attempt to pollinate these. We could even do that together, maybe a little later in the video. We've got some mushrooms growing in here. And lots of little tiny basil seedlings I have transplanted in here from my container over here, which desperately needs more transplanting to happen. Definitely need to get to that. We have a container over here. We've got more tomatoes. There are more marigolds in here. Some nasturtium flowers, a variegated variety. Some tiny basil seedlings are mixed in there too, here, there, and everywhere. It's quite an assortment of stuff happening. I'm going to show you the variety of tomato that I've got growing. This is Wood's Famous Rimmer from Baker Creek. Those are the seedlings you are seeing. This plant produces 3 to 4 inch red fruits that are perfectly round and plants 6 to 10 weeks before the last frost. So we're definitely in that category. Some of these will be going outside shortly when the weather warms up. And let's see what else we have going on. In the window, we have some basil and tomato seedlings, which have been transplanted from these pots here into here for a little more space. And then over here, this is one of my Krakatee method of hydroponic gardening. This is growing in water mixed with a tiny bit of plant food from my hydroponics kit. It's growing pretty well, and this is a repurposed pill bottle of sorts. So always reduce, reuse, recycle if you're able to. We always need more of that for the planet. Coming this way, we have a cucumber plant. This is also growing in the hydroponics Krakatee method in a little vase. You can see the roots kind of through the vase hole. If I get a little closer, maybe I can pick it up. Whoa, 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 that's what the roots are looking like. Whoops, I think we gotta put those back in the container. My grow lights are very flimsy and they're always trying to fall over. That is what is happening right now. So I need to give these guys a little bit of water. Oh dear, made a little mess. I'm gonna have to clean that up. So yeah, the cucumber plant is vining out. Doesn't look that healthy. Like it's got a little wilt in that leaf, but I think I let it dry out a little too much. So that's probably why, but I think it's gonna survive. And then I think we have a tragedy in that little drinking glass slash Krakatee hydroponics thing. This is my grow light situation. So flimsy. I got these on Amazon. Great lights, but the bottom, not a great thing. I'm actually gonna put a rock there from the beach to try to stabilize it because it is kind of annoying when it falls over. And yeah, so this one I think is a tragedy. I need to get that removed and cleaned up. Not gonna make it. It was a bell pepper and something went wrong there. Moving right along, we have a nasturtium. growing in a pill bottle, doing really well actually. And over here, this is a bell pepper planted from a grocery store bell pepper that is struggling. This was planted in about October, hardly has grown. We're going to see how those same ones transplanted into hydroponics in the other room are doing shortly. And some more little seedlings that are just struggling away in soil. And now, what I'm most excited about is my bean vines. These are going absolutely crazy. I'm attempting to grow beans inside my house for the first time ever. And let's look at the vines. These are my bean vines. They are actually going for the blinds. Can you guys see that? This is a 12-foot ceiling here, and they're probably about 10 feet now. This is absolutely crazy. They're growing in a grow bag with soil, and I think there's 3 or 4 separate vines that are all growing together. But holy smokes, this is absolutely bananas. I think they are going to reach the ceiling with the rate that they're growing. Let's see, can we do a little, can't even see the top from my head. I'm 5'4". It is well above my head now. Holy smokers. I just cannot wait for them to bloom. I think it is going to be so crazy when they start blooming. It's going to be so beautiful. And even if they don't produce beans, it's just so cool to have beans growing in your house. Very, very fun. And now we're going to take a look at my fig propagations. I started these not in the last live stream, but I think 2 live streams ago, I did these live fig cutting propagations, and I actually forgot to show you guys in the last live stream how they're doing. This is completely experimental. So if you want to see the process of what I did with these, go back 2 live streams, but I'm going to show you how they're doing. This is my indoor plant room, and these are my fig cuttings. Let's see how they're doing. I see growth. I see green growth immediately. I haven't really opened this since the last video, or maybe I did once to put water in right after the video, but let's open it up and take a look. Ooh, wow, we've got lots of greenery here. I'm going to take them out and just take a closer look at what is happening. So, okay, lots of leaves coming from the top. I don't actually see any root growth at the bottom yet, but hopefully that's coming. So in case you're wondering what the white substance is, that is perlite. I watched a tutorial video from a newer YouTuber called The Angry Gardener, and he was propagating fuchsias, I think in his greenhouse, if I remember, or they ended up in the greenhouse. And he used perlite, and I'm not super proficient with propagating tree-like plants. I can do ground covers, but I've always struggled with trees. And I tried his method in these containers that I have, and I think it's going well. Let's look at another one. This one here. Well, the camera doesn't want to focus. I think, is that new growth? Let's see if that's actually focus. Come on, camera. Right here. Are you going to focus? I can't tell if that is new growth coming from that little spot there, or if that, I think it is. And then we've got the green at the top. I mean, this is great. I'm just skeptical that it won't survive, but hopefully it does. So that's the second cutting. I think we've got 4 in here. So let's take a look at all of them. Okay, so this is interesting. Now, whatever this is, I don't know if this is perlite, if this is mold, or if this is growth. It's actually kind of hard to tell right now. Whatever it is, we've got green here too. This is stuck on, so it's not like the perlite at the bottom where my hand is. Either it's growth or it's mold on the plant. Now, I don't know. It could be growth. I'm going to leave it for a while. It doesn't look harmful. And I don't actually see mold in the water in the bag, so it probably isn't. But let's take a look at this one. No roots. Oh, maybe there might be a root starting on this one. Camera again is not focusing. My goodness. Can you focus, please? Kind of focusing. I think this one has potential. There could be some roots that have started growing here. I'm not 100% certain, but I think there are some roots developing. And there's one more to check out in this bag. Oh, wow. Can you guys see that? That is green at the bottom. That is exciting. Green at the top. I think this one has the most potential of all of them to turn into a real tree someday. So excited. I'm going to put that back in here. And so I just have a tiny bit of water at the bottom of this bag, and this is pure perlite. There's nothing else in here with the cuttings. And it's kind of like a mini greenhouse effect, what we've got going on here. Just going to seal that up, and we have one more container to check out at the back here. This was done in a little bit of a different way. This is a completely sealed container. Again, I'm not seeing real mold, so that is a good thing. I was worried I was going to be growing a whole container of mold with this experiment, but so far I see nothing, so that is awesome. Have not opened this since the last time I showed you guys on video. So let's see. Okay, we've got green here too. And what about the roots? Hello, Bon Gowies Homestead. Thank you. I think we have roots forming here. That is so exciting. This is about 2 weeks worth of growth from the time I did this experiment. You can go back in the live stream and watch it live if you're interested. And the other one here, I don't think there's growth on this one, but 1 out of 2, not bad. Pretty cool. Hello, Mohammed. And greetings, anyone new. We're just doing an indoor food garden tour. And now we're going to check out the figs, the cuttings I took back in October and put them in my house in soil. So let's compare the fig cuttings. They're exactly the same trees that I cut them from. So let's see how the soil ones are doing. And this is way longer. This is like October, November, December, January, February. It's like 5 months these cuttings have been in these pots. So let's see how they are doing. Moving right along in the room here. So this was an experimental pot, but let's check this one out first. I did know there was growth on these. I did check these out in other tours. Still doing well. New growth coming from the sides. Think there's a tiny bit of root development at the bottom and nothing really coming from the top yet, but definitely life in this little cutting here. This one here, I think is dead. Yeah, I'm going to remove it. It's completely dead. So that one didn't work out. This one did work out. There is a very lush sprout at the base here that was pretty much in the soil. So I would say this fig cutting is going to take, very likely. Now this one at the back was done the same week as those ones in water, and any growth here, I'm going to say no, nothing yet on this one. And the one at the back was also done like 2 weeks ago at the same time. And oh, you guys won't be able to tell, I don't think, but I think there's the tiniest bit of root growth coming. Probably can't see that, but I think this one has potential. That is super exciting. There's a bean trying to grow here from my failed experiments. I was trying to grow these. They didn't really work out, but there's still seeds sprouting. There's one here. And let's look in this container. This one might be dead. Let's give it a test. Yep, that is dead. You want to know if your cutting is dead? Just see if it'll break easily. Very well, there's green there though, but it did break, so I'm thinking this is dead. Next, we have another success. We've got green from the bottom, and also, I don't know if you can see, there is, well, the camera is not focusing. There is some development at the bottom too, so I'm quite certain this one is going to work out. So exciting. And moving on this way, this one was done just 2 weeks ago. I don't think there's any action yet, but I'm not giving up yet. This one here, there is a bug, but possible root development, but don't see green though, so I'm not sure about that one. And the one at the back, this was 2 weeks ago. Oh, it might actually have some action at the bottom. I'm sure the camera won't focus, but possibilities exist there. Now we're going to venture into the hydroponic room where most of the action is happening in the indoor food garden. Let's take a little venture next door and see what we are growing over here. This is where the real wild things are happening. Right off the bat, this is my very first hydroponic growing kit. I was so excited to set this up. I set this up, I think this was early December of last year. And this is my first time ever trying hydroponic gardening, and it is growing like bananas. I've got some dinosaurs in here because it feels like a prehistoric jungle to me. Very, very lush. This is a tomato plant that has gone completely bonkers. It is just reaching for the sky. It is here, there, and everywhere. Actually, there's 2 of them in here. And they are just going crazy. No flowers yet, but holy smokers, are they ever going for it. And then here, this is what I am most excited about. This is one of my bell pepper plants, and this was started from a grocery store seed at the same time as the one I showed you at the beginning of the live stream that is like this big. Same seeds, same soil, everything. And this was put into hydroponics in December, and this is what it looks like now. The difference is pretty insane. And we're going to do some live pollination. I have not attempted to pollinate these guys ever. I just noticed today that we have 2 flowers open, so I hope this is going to work. There's one here, and if we swing the camera around to this side of the plant, there's another one there. So we are going to try live bell pepper pollination, and we are going to use a Q-tip. These guys have so many purposes, and I think they work better than paintbrushes. From my personal experience, I've been struggling to pollinate things. No guarantees this is going to work, but we're going to try. So let's get into flower number 1 with the Q-tip. See if I can focus the camera and do this at the same time. Q-tip, where are you? Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to put the Q-tip right into the middle of the flower, kind of swirl it around a little bit. But I have to be gentle because sometimes I damage the flowers and then that doesn't work out very well. So I'm just going to rotate it a little bit in the flower. And then we're going to pretend we're a bee, exit the flower. And we're going to fly around to the second flower on this side of the plant. You guys can see that. And we're going to go for it. Pollinate this little flower, please. Q-tip, don't fail. I need some bell peppers in my life. I need the vitamin C. My immune system is not working very well. So there we go. That was my first attempted pollination on this bell pepper plant. I hope it works out. We also have a cucumber plant. Now this one has been causing me a little bit of grief. It's had probably 80 or more flowers and 2 cucumbers which fell off very early on. I'm not great with pollination. I've been struggling. I started with paintbrushes. It didn't work out. I switched to Q-tips. I might be having more luck now. Hard to say. I don't know if there's any cucumbers actually in this collection of flowers that are slowly drying. Have no idea. They're all over the plant. So many spots. I've attempted to pollinate a majority of them, and time will tell if they actually work out. I have another cucumber plant here. This one is actually struggling a little bit, and I should probably pluck this leaf right off. It's not looking healthy, that one. Not sure why it's struggling more, but it has been. And my purple basil is going bananas. Like, look at this. Uh-oh. The dinosaur has taken a turn, and he is falling off of this plant here. So the purple basil, I did a huge harvest 2 weeks ago, and I think I need to do another huge harvest because it is going crazy, absolutely crazy. Let's do a little taste test. I've done this before, but let's do another one. I could use the vitamins, that's for sure. Pluck a couple leaves and a little extra vitamins this morning. So good. I've noticed this one has slight licorice taste to it. I don't know what type of basil this is, but it's really good. It tastes even better cooked. Like, I like raw basil usually in salads, but this particular variety tastes better cooked. Very healthy though. And it's not bad raw, but has even more flavor when you cook it with other things. So next, we are going to check out another hydroponics system that I've got growing over here, my second hydroponics grow kit that I've ever used or experimented with. Let's get up into the window. The sun is coming out. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to go out in the outdoor food garden later and do some work out there. So here I did another massive harvest of my basil, and it is going crazy again. I've got a few bell pepper plants in here. They have not flowered yet, but I think they're going to pretty soon. They're looking like it. Another basil plant at the back that is going pretty crazy. It's a much smaller kit, but still grows really, really well. And is super happy in the window here. And moving along, my favorite stone that I've showed you guys a few times, and my nasturtium is still doing well in the Krakatoa hydroponics here. This little pill bottle, I think it's almost out of water. I better top that up a little later in the day here. Getting lots of new growth on the leaves, and it's just living its best life in the little windowsill here. Very nice. And next, I am going to venture back into the other room, and we have a few seed trays to check out before I call it a day here. Turn the camera back around. And let's see how my seed trays are doing. I want to show you a little project before we get to the seed trays. I made this last night. It's another little fairy house. Little sea glass mushroom on the back. And in case you're wondering what I do with these, sometimes I film YouTube videos, sometimes I just take them to a local fairy forest. And this one I've been thinking about putting in my balcony garden at work. We have outdoor furniture and lots of planters on our summer patio at work. And I thought this might be a nice decorative piece. So I might save this one for my workplace. It's pretty small. So that's most likely where it's going to end up. And let's check out my planters here. No, they're seed trays. They're not planters. Up in the window. Take it down. So these were some goldenberry? No, ground cherries that I attempted to seed quite a few weeks ago. And I used recycled potting soil. And I know that I got some extra seedlings that were from other species. Pretty sure this is a bell pepper here. And I think this is a basil that has sprouted, but all of these other ones, these are ground cherry seedlings. I've never grown a ground cherry in my life. This is my first attempt ever, and I'm so excited that they're growing. I don't have a lot, but I have to nurture the ones that I have. Hopefully they grow and develop and produce ground cherries. I cannot wait to try them. Let's see what else we've got growing in the window. Coming up here, another seed tray. This seed tray has not been doing well for me. I planted, these were local seeds from a company on Vancouver Island, and these are actually goldenberry seeds, 2 different varieties, and I think they're duds. I don't see anything significant has sprouted in here, and it's been a few weeks now, so I'm not going to give up, but I don't think they're going to work out, unfortunately. Most likely not. And we have one more tray up here to check out in the window. Up here, these are more of the ground cherries. I believe this is a different variety. Not a lot sprouted, but again, I need to nurture the ones I have. And hopefully they will grow and develop fruits. I think they're called fruits, not vegetables. And I cannot wait to try them. I have no idea what they're going to taste like. So we're going to put those back in the window with these guys and the ones over here. So I think that's all I have to show you for today. I'm going to head out shortly into my vegetable garden in the backyard. And I'm going to do a little bit of a spring cleaning and planting in the vegetable garden. And I think I might take you guys along, but we're not doing it live. We're going to do a little bit of a traditional video. I haven't done a spring cleaning the garden video before, so I thought that might be kind of fun. Try something different. So I might have that video done by tomorrow if everything goes well. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And we will see you soon in another video. I hope you have a lovely day today. Bye-bye.